How can we tell the difference between intuition and a fear-based response?
Intuition will always be the first to speak, always, and it will always feel neutral. Fear will dip you down into a lower vibrational frequency. It will dip you down into the static. It will not feel good. If you listen to intuition, it will be very quiet. It will be very still. It will feel unceremonious. It will feel it won't feel necessarily exciting or electric. It will feel very, very neutral, very calm, very matter of fact. And in order to recognize that for what it is, it's a matter of tuning yourself to a neutrality, to a middle frequency. When you are in that state of middle frequency and neutral being, everything is still and everything is quiet and everything is calm. When you get used to that frequency, when you get used to that feeling, when your intuition speaks to you, it will be coming from that place as well. So it will feel familiar to you. You'll be able to recognize it for what it is. Once you listen to it and can recognize it for what it is and pay attention to it and give credence to it and acknowledge that that is exactly what it is. It is your intuitive voice and your higher self and your guides coming through you, and you act on it, then the excitement comes in. Then you are raised up to a higher frequency, and then the emotions of being elated and being inspired and being joyful and feeling like a spark of inspiration is coming through you. Then you'll be able to recognize that. Then you'll be able to access that those higher frequencies, but you must begin in a state of neutrality, of middle frequency. As those messages come to you, it's every message that comes through you, every vision that comes through you is just going to be one pixel. So once you start paying attention and allowing yourself to remain in that neutral state of being, the pixels will form together and become a clearer, clearer, clearer vision. And as that picture becomes clearer, you become more and more and more excited, because it is exciting. It is exciting when you get a clear vision of inspiration or clarity or insight or wisdom or whatever it is. That's how you identify it. You'll be able to feel it. Jeffrey can feel it in his stomach right now. It's like it's a fun, exciting flip of his stomach. That's why so many people get fear and excitement confused, because it can feel similar in the stomach. The stomach does flip, but right now Jeffrey could feel his stomach flipping upwards because he's raising his frequency, and it's exciting and it's fun and it's joyous. When you're allowing yourself to have your stomach flip out of fear, it's worry, it's confusion, it's comparison, it's jealousy, it's envy, it's anger, it's all of those things. It's projection into the future of all the things that you don't want to be, as opposed to creating an image in your mind of what it is that you do want, who it is that you do want to be, and who it is that you do want to aspire to become. When you dip down into those lower vibrational frequencies of fear, it really doesn't take long for you to stay there in order for more and more and more and more and more thoughts of fear and worry to flow to you. It's literally, from a neurological perspective, as the synapses in your brain fire off, it really only takes 17 to 20 seconds of staying in that state for an avalanche to occur, for more and more and more and more like-minded thoughts to match that vibrational frequency, and for the floodgates to open. So it really is a choice. When you feel yourself dipping down into lower vibrational frequencies, and you can feel your stomach flip, and you can feel the anxiety, and it doesn't feel good, when you stay there for 17 to 20 seconds, the floodgates are opening, and more and more of that energy is going to come in. So when you recognize that, snap out of it. Bring yourself back up into a state of neutrality, of middle frequency. Ask your guides for help. Jeffrey is constantly asking his guides for help. He's constantly dipping down into lower frequencies, and he's constantly feeling it, recognizing it for what it is, and snapping his fingers and bringing himself back up into a state of neutrality and middle frequency, and staying there for 17 to 20 seconds. And then from that point, allowing his antenna to reach up into higher frequencies, and allowing higher vibing thoughts and feelings and emotions and visions to flow into his conscious field. And from that place, allowing himself to stay there for 17 to 20 seconds, and then allowing that floodgate to open, and more and more and more beautiful, empathic, kind, loving, nurturing, nourishing, higher consciousness thoughts and feelings and ways of being, allowing that to flow through him. It's a practice. It really is a practice, but it's a matter of becoming intimately familiar with yourself, with your own middle frequency, and constantly returning to that place. So many people want to jump from fear-based thinking, from scarcity, from lack, from comparison, from thoughts and feelings and energy of dis-ease. They want to spiritually bypass and jump straight from there to high-vibing thoughts and being positive, and only thinking good thoughts and only saying good things and ignoring anything negative. But that's not realistic. You're jumping into a frequency that you cannot sustain, you cannot maintain, because you have not attuned yourself to that frequency. You can jump into it for a second, but you're inevitably going to fall back down. So the easier, more practical, more tangible, more realistic way of being is just returning constantly to that neutral state of being, that middle frequency, the frequency of truth, the frequency of receiving. And once you're there and allow yourself to remain there and for your frequency to settle, then from that place you can raise your antenna up into higher frequency and just ask for help. Just ask for help. It will come through you. The more you become familiar with this practice, the easier you will be able to identify fear and intuition. Listen and pay attention. We're always here. We're always going to be the first to speak. We're never going to shout at you. We're never going to be loud and obnoxious and be jarring for you. So whenever you recognize any feelings or emotions that are of that nature, trust that it's not us.